Hey guys, what I'm going to show you today is how to work with frame animations in Photoshop. Um, and what I've decided I'm actually going to do is the little demo that I was going to use, I was going to pre-build ahead of time and show you just the frame animation. But I think showing you guys the process of how I'm actually building the demo will be useful to some of you guys. I know I personally have always found it useful to see other people work in Photoshop and sort of their workflow, and just in terms of sort of picking up some new tricks and adding to my own. And some of this carries across platform to like working with Illustrator and things like that. So this first half's not going to be a whole lot of talking from me other than sort of commenting on what I'm doing. So if you're not interested in the workflow portion of this, fast forward until you see me pop open the frame animation window and watch from there. So I'm just going to get started here. Basically, I've got my document. This is just a square document, black background because I'm working with a neon sign. And I'm going to show you guys, just to reiterate, probably what I'll cover in class as well, in terms of how to add like a neon glow. I'm going to kind of figure that out as I go along here. All right, here we go. What I decided the best way of showing you guys this project would be to basically make just a ticking clock. Get a couple ticks in from the hands. So I'm just going to start that out. This is going to be really simple. It's going to look like a neon sign. And I'm basically just going to build the clock that I'm looking for. And I'm just modifying some of the settings here. Just tapping up and down on the arrow keys lets me change the point of the stroke on this. There's no fill on it. And I'm going to always be careful to, like, if it's still a live shape that you're working with in Photoshop, if I were to go and change this, it'd probably change that. So I try to deselect onto something that isn't the actual shape layer I'm working with. And I'm going to make some little marks on the clock. And what I'm going to do is I've got this one point. I'm just going to duplicate it. I'm going to hold down Option with my Move tool as my main tool here. Hold on Option. I'm going to get the double arrow. I'm going to just click and drag. And then let go, and you can see that's a quick copy. And now to get my other points around, all I'm going to do is select both layers. I click on one, I hold down Shift or hold Command to select both. Drag them to the copy, the new layer icon. The new copies are selected. I'm going to hit Command T or free transform. Something's not quite right, so I'm going to cancel that. So let's see here. I'm going to just undo what I did. Okay, so let's put that down there. Minute point. Drop that in. Text message. And what we're going to do here, let's try this quick copy again. So I'm going to select both. I'm going to drag them to new layer icon. Yep, now I'm going to transform and just rotate it around 90 degrees. Confirm that transformation. Then I'm going to make two more copies. There's one, transform it to 45, confirm, make another copy, transform, 45 again. Now I've got some points on my clock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all my points to sort of, optimize my organization of this layer palette here. Grab minute point 7 and the original. I'm going to drag it to the folder icon. So those are all in one layer there. I'll make myself some hands. Let's go with a rounded rectangle tool here. And maybe make this a little thinner. A little taller. And this is going to be just kind of slapdash. I'm not looking for 100% accuracy because this is just a demo for you guys. I'm going to copy this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the pivot point for this transformation rotation that I'm going to do. So I'm going to try to grab this point in the center. That's giving me some trouble here. It might be because my shape is too thin. It's just registering as a normal move point. So what I'll just do is spin it normally, reduce the length on it, and then just move it in. Okay, so there's my clock hands. Minute hand. Hour hand. And I'm going to save my progress so far. Clock. Okay. Alright. So now I need to make this kind of look like a neon sign. I'm going to use non-destructive layers probably, or a layer style. I think layer style will be a better bet for what I'm looking to do. Let's try an outer glow to kind of get like a neon sign glow to this. Screen, normal. Let's change my color to something neon-like in nature. Hey, there we go. And probably what I want to do is outer glow, color overlay. Color overlay to sort of tint things to the color I'm looking for. I'm just going to take a look at inner glow and see what I can do with that. Yeah, something like that, I think. Where it gives us just a little bit of a color change near the edge. So that looks pretty cool. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to click OK. You're going to see it's going to add the effects here. And now what I can do basically to get this applied to everything else is if I hold down Option and just click and drag, I can drag and drop this layer effect onto each of these elements. Cool. Alright, so there's my glowing clock. Now that everything's got it on it, it's glowing a little too much, but I'm just going to leave that for now. Move my hands a little bit here. Save what I've got. Okay, so now I'm going to start animating. So what I'm going to do is go to Window, and what I'm looking for here is my frame animation timeline. So right here under timeline, this is alphabetized. I'm going to choose that. It's going to open my timeline palette right here. And what you may end up doing is just minimizing your screen a little bit to fit everything. So you've got two options when animating in Photoshop. You can work with a video timeline or a frame animation. We're going to be working with a frame animation, similar to old animation, like if you've ever seen any of the old like Disney Steamboat Willie kind of things with early Mickey Mouse, things of that nature. So frame animation, create frame animation. So the way this works is we have different states, different snapshots, if you will, of our clock that, when strung together and played in sequence, are going to allude to some sort of movement. So we've got our first one right here. We can set things like the delay, creating a new frame, how many times we want it to loop. We want it to loop forever. We just basically want this animation to play through all the way, every single time, endlessly. So we've got frame 1 here. I'm going to make frame 2. So basically what you do is you position everything the way you want it to look in that first frame. Then you make a new frame and enact some sort of change onto the elements in your animation. Then you make another frame, make those changes again, there. Make a new frame, and I think that this has probably changed since I tried it last, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this and see what happens. Yep, so this has changed. You can see this didn't work. So even I, as your instructor, sometimes fail. So what's going on is the changes I'm making to that layer in hopes that it's going to register that change across, each frame separately. It's actually making the change happen on every single frame. So what I need to do is I need to make separate stages for this minute hand. So I'm going to stop this. I'm going to go back. I'm going to hold down Shift, select those layers, delete them. So what I need is I need multiple minute hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position that back to there. So there's state 1. So now basically what I need to do is I need multiple layers for the minute hand in the positions that I want. And then I'm just going to switch them on and off for each frame. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to make a folder for minute hands. Move this out of the way. Scale this up a bit so I can see what I'm doing. And now I'm going to, let's see, I'm gonna rasterize my layer style so the glow is on there permanently, and probably just for the sake of making this document a little more efficient, I know this is the look I want. I'm just going to rasterize it on a couple more of them. So now my minute hands, I'm going to make a bunch of copies. And I'm just holding down Option, clicking, dragging up, and adding a layer. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different states. Let's just make it 6. So I've got one hand positioned there. I'm going to choose my next layer, and I'm going to move the hand, confirm the change, choose my next layer, free transform again, and basically just keep on going and work my way around the clock. And you know what? We've come this far. Might as well not go halfway with this. We'll just make it go all the way around. So now we've got a hand for each. Now I'm just going to make the frames. So what I'm going to do is frame 1 looks like this. New frame. Shut off the original. Oops. Turn on the next one. New frame. And as you can see, I'm just moving through, shutting each one on and off, making a new frame, off, new one on, off, new one on, new frame, off, new one on. So let's see here, we've got our hand moving all the way around the clock. I don't think I'll need this last one, so I'm going to choose that and get rid of it. And what I'm going to do is hold down Shift and choose my delay here, and I'm going to set it to 0.2 just so I have a little bit of a step in the animation, and it's looping forever. So now I'm going to play this. What you might see here in the side is the layers switching on and off for each frame state. So I'm going to hit play. And what I've got now is a moving clock animation. So this is the basic process for doing that. As you can see, I basically just figured this all out for you guys right here in terms of how to add that glow, play with it and tweak it a little bit to get what you're looking for. And if this is moving a little too fast for me, I can just go back, select all my frames. Let's try half a second here. That kind of looks a little better. So that is the basic process. I hope you guys, maybe gleaned something from my workflow and me just trying to figure out how to establish the look I was hoping to achieve, and also the process of figuring out how this works. You can see there's a bit of space, like some spacing issues, things that I just need to go back and line up and plan out a little more carefully. But for the purpose of this demo, good enough. Again, as always, any questions, contact me, email, see me in class, office hours, things like that. And I will see you guys in class.